Let's talk to Baroness Claire Fox, independent peer and director, of course, of the Academy of Ideas. Claire, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
So, I mean, here we are once again, waiting, sitting on the cusp of something. I'm not quite sure what, but a lot more people getting taxed. Keir Starmer saying he wants to attack the flabby state of Britain. We've been saying this morning that there's a sense in Britain that nothing works at the moment, and we need to sort of fix whatever the malaise is that's causing it. What do you reckon about that?
I agree that we need to attack the flabby state. I was marginally, little frizzen of excitement when I heard Keir Starmer say there's going to be a big announcement changing the relationship between the state and the citizen. And it sounded as though he was going to almost like launch a kind of Doge-like attack on excessive civil service and so on and so forth. We've heard about them saying the civil servants get in the way. Oh, great, I thought. Anyway, having read into it, bit more smoke and mirrors than that, let me tell you.
Yes.
They seem to be about to announce that they're going to use digital and AI tools to replace some of the work that civil servants do where they're wasting their time. Nothing wrong with that. They're going to sack loads of consultancy firms. Delighted to hear that. That sounds brilliant. But then you discover that actually they seem to not be going to sack any civil servants at all.
No.
And this flabby state is just changing where its flab goes.
Right.
Because they've got all this kind of apprenticeship scheme. I like the idea of jobs, of course, but then you think, oh, there's going to be more civil servants. They then say they're going to pay, well, lots of digital civil servants to enact this work. But they're saying jobs won't go. And I think, what is this all about? And what we really need is the government to seriously do a Doge-like approach. I was delighted to hear that the Financial Conduct Authority have just decided, taking a bit of a while, that they are no longer going to implement their equality, diversity and inclusion project.
That was a major victory for common sense, wasn't it?
Massive victory for common sense, for free speech. We know that is a corrosive impact on workplaces. Why don't the government... You know, if Starmer wants my kind of seal of approval, he could stand up and say we're going to get rid of every extraneous politicised role in the civil service, like EDI schemes. But of course, he's not going to say that at all.
Right. That's the problem, isn't it? You know, they talk a good game, and in almost every aspect of what they've done in government, they've not done what they said they were going to do. You know, they were going to, you know, put a cap on energy prices. They didn't do it. Energy prices have gone up. They were going to stop the boats. They were going to, you know, smash the gangs. They haven't done any of that. You know, they were going to, you know, reduce the size of the state. They've made it bigger. Even to the point where yesterday I discovered that they said, oh, we're going to do another bonfire of the Quangos. I mean, how many times have you heard that? And they've started another 27 of them since they've been in charge.
Well, I was just going to say to you, I mean, you know, here we are in a situation where, you know, the Quangos discussion is a perfect one. If you only read the headline, you'd think, great, Labour are achieving what we know that they should do.
Yeah.
But actually, the real material changes are there are more Quangos, and they're setting them up daily.
Right.
But also, you know, they say that we want more growth. We want more infrastructure, you know, get rid of all of the environmental objections to that. And then you discover that next week, they are going to pour, in the next couple of weeks, concrete into the tunnels that have been created,
the wells. I thought they'd already done that, actually.
They started it, but they're finishing it off. Yeah. It's like a willful act of vandalism to ensure that you can never, in the future, ever involve yourself in fracking. Right. And the reason I'm saying that is because what's the point in standing up and saying we're going to have cheap energy? We're not going to get completely bamboozled by green energy. Yeah. We're going to have infrastructure projects and not let environmentalists get in the way. And then they give the authority to actually willfully close down a major infrastructure project that could supply us with cheap, efficient energy. So there is a massive gap between the rhetoric and the reality. Yeah. But I do want the state to become less flabby. So what we need to do is to say to Keir Starmer, and every time you have anyone from Labour on, say, what happened to your keep the state less flabby plan?
Yeah. Well, listen, if they ever do come on, I will certainly ask them, but, you know, they seem to have given up on that one for the moment, but that's another story. It's a bit like if you had a friend who said, I'm giving up smoking tomorrow, and the next time you see them, they're actually smoking more cigarettes than ever. That's what they're doing. This is Talk. That's the Labour government for you. See you soon.